Not like I've neglected it. Like I know what I'm doing now. I think it might be nice in a wreath. Good morning. It is Sunday. There is a car boot sale. We are going. Now, this is a new one. Well, it's new for me. Now, I'm after finding my Crocs. Oh, they are dirty. Should I put runners on instead? I think I need to go up and put runners on. This car boot sale came up as like a ad. And I was like, oh, I love a targeted ad. It's on in Larchill, which is about 25 minutes away in a beautiful little town of Kilcock. And there's a garden here and it says €2 entry, but it also includes, sorry, I'm just looking to make sure no knickers are in the background. It also includes, right, I have socks. Sorry. It also includes admission into the gardens. And I was like, oh, it has gardens. And on its website, it says that it like opens seasonally. So I think it closes in September. On their Facebook, it had that they had car boot sales on. And it looks like that they've been quite popular for them this summer. So I wonder, will they like maybe keep the car boots going until, I don't know, into autumn? But anyway, it is €2 entry. Usually they're free, but it includes the gardens. So I'm like, okay. Oh, also kids are free. So I'm going with the fam this morning. My brother loves a good car boot sale. I texted him when I was like, car boot sale tomorrow 9. This was like last night at 9 and he's like, I'm there. But I don't think this is going to be his type of car boot sale. He likes a car boot sale where he's going to get like car things. This is more of a kind of like local sellers, I think. So there'll be people clearing out their houses. So it's more of a car boot sale for us interior lover people. I don't think there'll be people there selling like car parts. But if there is, no doubt my brother will find that. So anyway, let us go. It is very windy today, but it's sunny. And it's giving all that like early autumn vibes. I just love when the light changes. Not the dark nights, but that more shadowy September light. Beautiful. Now this is the most perfect place for a car boot sale. This venue is amazing. And the gardens, I'm going to show you around the gardens towards the end of our little trip to this car boot sale. So Larchill is the only nearly complete example of an ornamental farm garden left in Europe. So this style of ornamental farming, popular in the mid-18th century, was part of the Romantic movement and aimed to create a pastoral paradise that blended a working farm with a decorative landscaped park. Now, for many years, the gardens and their follies were semi-derelict and overgrown, earning Larchill the reputation of an important lost garden. However, in 1994, a garden historian, Paddy Bowe, rediscovered it, which led to a 4-year restoration project, which also won several awards. Now, if you like a rustic vibe, cottage, the lands here are absolutely stunning and beautiful. Also, location wise, if you saw the autumn video from last week, you would have saw that I was at Carton House. So if you are visiting Carton House, it's only another like 10-15 minute drive from there. Now you will have to check the website because this isn't somewhere that you can visit all the time. It is only open seasonally. But do keep an eye on their Facebook page for any of the car boot sales. They did seem to have a good few car boot sales this summer. It seemed to be like every second week they had one on a Sunday morning. Now we got here a little bit late, so the car boot sale was from 9 until 1 and it was about 10 to 12 when we got here, so we were a little bit late. However, a lot of the stalls still had some items and I was thinking this would be a great place to sell. Now I'm not sure if it was busy earlier in the day, but there's so many little nooks to this venue. There's a barnyard where people were selling, a little courtyard. There's a coffee shop with toilets here. There's lots of little nooks where people were selling. I'm not sure where would be like the best spot for your stall. All of them seem to be good and getting people walking by. Car boots can be hard because if you end up going late in the day, you can get the bargains because people just want to sell up, so you can get things for like €1 and €2. Then if you go there first thing at 9 in the morning, you get the best of the stuff. So I don't know, are you a go super early to a car boot kind of person, or are you go in at the last minute and see what you can snap for free? So just as expected, this was a lot of local sellers just clearing out from their houses. There was a couple of like, when I say professional car boot sellers, I got chatting to a local beekeeper who also has bees not too far from where I am, and it was so lovely to talk to her. She's also in the Fingal bee group as well, so it was really nice to chat to her, and she was just confirming that yes, it was a hard season for beekeeping. So it's really nice to go to these things because I always find I make friends, or not even friends, but like connections, and you get chatting to people. But this was more of a local people coming to sell stuff from their house. I did spot a couple of crafters, so there was people there selling like crocheted items, some of that diamond art as well, framed, people were selling that. I really do think this venue would be adorable for a little autumn market or a Christmas market, because I can only imagine this all lit up. I know they'd probably have it on during the day, but I can only imagine like a little afternoon weekend fair with loads of twinkly lights in the courtyard. It just looked so pretty here. So it is time to finally do some mini meadow maintenance. In the last garden video, I was saying how I was watching Beech Grove, and the team there were given tips and advice on when and how to trim your meadow. This mini meadow was a no-dig experiment. So last summer I laid down some cardboard and some soil that I had, and I sprinkled some seeds, but it was a bit of an experiment because a lot of people had said that you need to remove the grass because the grass will like outcompete with the seeds. Now you might be wondering to yourself, why aren't you just using the trimmers? Make it easier for yourself. So first of all, it's garden gym day. It's arm day in the garden gym. Also the effort of having to get the extension cord for this trimmer. And I'm only going to be cutting the kind of top off this meadow. So they said on Beach Grove to leave about 15 centimeters worth of growth. There's a few things still in flower, and there's actually a couple of things that you can see the seedlings have already started to germinate and grow for next year. So the idea of cutting your meadow is you trim it in early autumn, late summer. You let all of the seed heads rest on top so that they go into the soil for next year. Now there is these wild patches in the park where I walk, and I have noticed that they do leave them to overwinter and they cut them back in springtime. And I think the reason for that is just to let all of the bugs and the birds feed on the seed heads, and then the bugs just have a nice large area to overwinter in. Mine had started to look really messy in the front garden, so I'm going to just cut it back and trim it. But I'm not going to put a lawnmower on this because there's loads of bugs in this all summer long, and there's probably some nesting at the bottom. So this was the easiest way to just go in, give it a quick trim, and I'm going to take away some of the seed heads and I'm going to leave some resting on top so that they can go back into the soil. One of my favourites in the patch this year was the wild carrot. Love seeing the wild carrot. Gives a nice bit of colour in late summer, and I think the seed heads are really pretty. There's also some yellow rattle in here, and if you're trying to do a little meadow at home, yellow rattle is great because it will compete with the grass. So if you find that if you have like too much grass in your meadow, yellow rattle is great for that. I noticed this year that I had some new bugs to the garden. So just there recently, around about end August time, I had dragonflies in the garden. Now, I do have the pond area in the back, so they do say that if you have some water or a source of water in the garden, that you will get dragonflies. Now, my pond, it didn't actually dry out considering how dry August was, but I wasn't expecting to get any dragonflies. But I noticed the dragonflies were in the front. Now, I do have some bird baths in the front, but they did dry up. But maybe, I don't know, could it have been the wild little mini meadow area? I also had a big aphid problem in springtime, and I introduced ladybugs into the garden. So I introduced the larvae. And I did notice that in the mini meadow, I had ladybugs. So hopefully they maybe laid some eggs and they have stayed around the area. But I did not have an aphid problem for the rest of the year. Dahlias were okay. I had a lack of water and rain problem. Didn't feed. But I didn't have a big, aphid problem. Like nothing was too out of balance. There was just that issue in springtime, and then it just resolved itself. So highly recommend if you want to. I think my experiment was a success. So if you do want to do a little mini meadow somewhere in the garden, then yeah, I think this was a success, even though some people thought it looked a bit messy. But the bugs, they're not, or something I've noticed with gardening is, bugs don't really like your pretty plants. It's the ones that look like weeds that actually benefits them the most. I really wanted to tackle this messy corner, but if you're here around springtime, you know that a lot of the creepy crawlies live in this corner. And that's probably why I have left it to be like this. So I did try and pull it out. It's like the land is eating it. The grass and the soil is just chewing up that wooden raised bed. And yeah, I had to abort the mission on this one, so you'll see why. People who tune in from Australia will be like, girl, they're not spiders. No, I have headphones on and I could hear the grass rustling. They were big old. It's because there's ivy next to the thing, which I love the ivy because the bees love it. Things nest in it. Great. So do the spiders. Everyone has their place. And I know spiders, if you just unearth them, they will go away. They don't want to be seen. So I've just moved it out. Let them move away. But I did text them. I texted them and says, can you lift this? Because it's too heavy. It's not too heavy. There's too many spiders in it that are huge. So that's mission aborted. Mission aborted on that one. Did you hear that big bumbler? Hello. Still loads of bees out actually. Because the ivy is going into flower. So yeah, loads of them. And there's a thing in the front as well that they're all after. Lots of things gone to seed as well. There's a seed collecting to do. Bon has finally come out from his nap to join us in the garden. Bjug was here a minute ago. I think she's off chasing something. I wanted to just quickly show you. Do you remember back in July, these got absolutely chomped to bits by the cabbage butterfly, the moth. This was full of caterpillars. Got absolutely chomped. Now these are self-seeded. They just reseed themselves. And I just noticed with the rain last week, this went really dry. Like 2 videos ago you would have seen this was like decimated. But look, it has bounced completely back and you can eat this. Actually, nasturtium is nice on a pizza. I also read somewhere that if it flowers, you have crap soil. So there's another lovely little flower head here. So yeah, the nasturtiums they thrive here, which means the soil isn't the best. I've also held on to some of the seed heads from the wild carrot and I think it might be nice in a wreath. I've just held on to a couple of them and then I've left more of them sitting in the mini meadow just to dry out and reseed for next year, but I think the seed head is just really pretty. I've also just left the seed heads. I'm going to give this another week and collect some of the sweet peas, the seeds, and then just lift them out. And then I do have some autumn veg plugs. So I have some autumn plugs. I've got lettuce, curly Maserati, and I have some purple, is this purple sprouting broccoli? No, it just says sprouting broccoli redhead, but I think that's the purple sprouting broccoli variety. Also, Bon is just blending into the shed back there. Now I know people give out about games and kids and video games. However, I'm not going to defend them because I think we spend too much time on our phones nowadays anyway. However, because of that game Grow a Garden on Roblox, which, yeah, Roblox has had some, I heard it on the radio when I was coming home from the NCT, that they were saying like online bullying and stuff in Roblox. Anyway, my nephew plays Grow a Garden, but he has like supervised time. And because of that, he wanted to get seeds in the garden centre and I had to explain to him that like the growing season, that a lot of the stuff that he wanted to grow would be sow it in spring. But I did manage to find a few things for him to, well, I got him the seeds and then he goes, will you sow these for me? And I was like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So I managed to, so first of all, I wanted some spring onions. Now, I think you can get these going now but they're like a next year crop. I remember sowing these in autumn before, and then they settled over winter, and then I had a harvest in the springtime. But I don't know if it was it bulbs or was it seed? Anyway, I'm gonna get them going in a plug and I can leave them in the greenhouse. And then I just got, what did he get? Oh, radish. So this said, it does say sow outside in September, but I said I was basically just picking seeds that has the longest growing time. Again, I reckon he could start these in his plugs to get them going, and then it'll be a next year's crop. All of the things he wanted to grow, like, and you could see his brain, he's like, oh yeah, like I was saying, like, this is your harvest time, this time of year, so you're collecting seeds from things for next year. And herbs, actually I got him some herbs, because you can kind of do these on the windowsill. And I got him some cress, because if you have kids who are impatient in the garden, cress. So I remember growing these in little egg cups as a kid. Do you remember that? In school, you'd get like an egg shell and fill it with soil and stick a cress seed on it, draw a face on the shell, and then you'd have the little cress hair on it. Yeah. So I got him some cress, because this you can do all the time, and you can do it on the windowsill. So because of that game, oh, also I got the plug. I was trying to explain to him, like, you can get some autumn veg. I was looking for Brussels sprouts because maybe he might eat them for Christmas if he sees how they're grown. I could not get Brussels sprout plugs, but I will try somewhere else. And yeah, we can plant that autumn veg where the sweet peas and the cornflowers are. And yeah, he can get his growing fix. So while video games get a bad rap, because of that particular game, he has an interest in growing in the garden. And he has been helping me with beekeeping, and he's kind of getting, like, yeah. So it's trying to take them away from the game and bring them into the garden. So he is good. I mean, it's all about balance, isn't it? I mean, we can't give out if we're also on our phones as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the car boot and the bit of clearing in the garden today. Delighted I tidied the meadow. Even when I look out the window now, it looks nice and tidy, because the other day my brother pulled up and he was like, that looks really messy. It looks like you've neglected your garden. And I'm like, it's a meadow. Anybody can see. But now that it's tidied back, I'm like, okay, it actually looks not like I've neglected it. Like, I know what I'm doing now. Anyway, you can check out the recent videos and I'll see you in the next one.